Hey there, everybody. James here, Black Wolf Outdoors. Back out here and work on the mower again. Today, what I'm going to try to do is remove steering wheel, so I can remove this part of the console, so I can take and remove the one off of there to swap it out because of the ignition area. Because this takes a different type of ignition switch from that one. I'll probably be using everything, the wiring from the other one, because it already matches the ignition switch. Should work. I don't see why it shouldn't. All the wires do all the same things. It is quite a bit cloudy and overcast here today, so lighting may be off a bit. It's getting windy. Not a lot of wind, but it's getting there. So that may affect some of the audio quality for the day. But after I get the console part taken down and then get the console off the other one taken down, I'm going to work on removing this rear transaxle out of here, so I can work on making sure that it will all bolt up and everything will be cohesive to the other frame. If not, I'll have to do some modifications, but I really want that 6-speed transmission on this build. I'll be removing the rear fenders off of that, the squared one, whatever. And yeah, pretty much I'll be removing all the parts I can from that one to make sure that they're going to work on the other one. About probably all I'm going to get today. I would like to try and get this engine removed. Once I get it removed, I'm going to put it over here. Put it over here on this table somewhere. And that'll be where I'm working on the, oh boy, okay, on that table. And then that's where I'm going to be working the motor at. Keep it covered when I'm not working on it. That way it's up a little higher, easier to get to. And then I guess work on it until it gets running again. That way I can fully clean the frame so I can get all the welds done I need to get done. And I can move the frame around a little easier without the weight. So give me a second. I'm going to take the phone and I guess put it on a tripod. See what kind of view I can get you guys, so you can kind of see what I'm doing. All right, give me a second, be right back. All right, so you should mostly kind of be able to see what I'm doing. Apologize ahead of time for any loud noises and any wind interruption, all that kind of stuff. All right, so start out with take a little cover off the steering wheel here. That way I can get to the little nut that holds the steering wheel on. That's a good place for it right now. What size are you? go. 3/4 inch socket. All right. That socket out. All right. Nut out. Move steering wheel. It's got a big washer behind it. There for right now. And now for the collar. Wasp nest. Tabs from the back side, popping back through. And then let's look. Yeah. Hold on a second. I can leave that in. If I take this little extension piece right here off, give me 1 second. Let me grab some more of my sockets. Be right back. All right, so not gonna be so lucky with having a socket for it. All right, that'll work. At least I hope it'll work. Come on. have another wrench somewhere. Okay, thought I had another wrench somewhere, or the same size, but I guess I do not. This one's close. There we go. All right. Come on. Okay, why do you keep trying to cross thread? There it goes. All right. That's stuck on there a little bit, ain't it? There we go. The little extension piece, the actual column comes up, goes through there, a little bolt goes through to hold it on. That way now whenever I take this off, it should slide up over the top of that. All right, for the next part, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 bolts to take out around this to get it to release. There we go. Yep. So I thought, 1/2 inch Alright, might get a little loud. And all of a sudden now it won't fit. Okay. I guess two of these are not like the other ones. Alright. There we go now. That back through. It's disconnected. Oh, lovely. Alright, so the brake locking lever had a little plastic cap on it. Pull it off. What's hanging up now? Alright, hold on. I'll put a little pause in the video. I'll be right back when I get this off. Alright, so I gotta get this cable disconnected from the throttle linkage, or basically from the throttle. That way that would come out. I had wire that was being stubborn coming out of here. And basically this is your switch that your blade has to be disengaged so that this thing right here is pushed down so that the engine would start. There's one on the brake also that is, let me move this. That switch is right here. That way when you push the pedal down, it pushes up against that. I'll probably be removing both of those switches. I don't need anything to keep me from starting it. Alright, so here's a better look with the console off. This right here is your lever for whenever you push in the brake. You push this up and it locks in with that little nub right there to keep your brake locked in. Like I said, I'm going to be changing that, so I won't need that rod in there. This will become the brake. It has its own locking mechanism. Alright, now, these are the wires for the ignition that run through the little wiring harness. It's got a little inline fuse. Runs down to the solenoid. And you got your battery wire, your hot wire that goes back to the battery. These wires I won't need anymore. That's just, okay, goes to the other switch and runs it. Okay. So I'll be able to lessen the wiring harness a bit by taking out the safety switches. But like I said, I'm going to take all this wiring harness out and I'll be swapping it with this so that I have the proper wire for the proper ignition. Should all work, I hope. If not, then I'll have to do some rearranging, rewiring. Let's see here. I think that's what I've got for now on this one. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this one apart and I'll get right back to you. Okay, that one was a little bit more challenging. I couldn't get that collar piece off, so I just kind of had to shatter the little plate. This little plate on that one so that that could go through the hole. But here we go. You can see how big that section is for the ignition right here. And you got your throttle. And I've noticed that this one does not have the alternator, which, I mean, it's just a little gauge. I don't know if I really want it or need it. I might try and get it hooked up over in this one. But as you can see, I can't see it anyway. But here we go again. There's your throttle. This is to shift to engage the blade. Same hole, but this one actually has a ignition switch. All right, the wiring is a bit different. It's kind of all over the place. There's a few wires that's been added for different things, I guess, at some point. So I have to figure that out. That is not going to be a today thing. But getting this off is my next task. It's got two nuts underneath here that connect this to this. Then does it have any more? It should have a couple up underneath here, like right up in here, that connect it from this to another little plate underneath there. But I'm going to get those off, get this removed, and see what the condition is the rest of it. So I'll be right back again. All right. So got the fenders off, got that off. Looking at this one, all right, so the shifter connects to the shift rod here. It goes to this side. This bar is what comes down and then comes back down here, and that's what shifts. All right. So that is shifter on the right hand side, connected directly to the rod, and the actual shift linkage is on the left side. Now, if we walk over here to the other one, the way it was set up is the shifter's connected to a mechanism on the outside, and it shifted that way. And the shift control is on the right hand side as well, nothing on the left. So looks like a bolt there. I'm going to have to try and see if I can remove that whole system there. Remove this whole system here. And move this to there so that the new transaxle will go under. Looks pretty simple. You got snap ring there. Sorry, snap washer, snap ring, whatever you want to call it there, holding that on. And got one on the other side. And then that rod should all come out. Pretty simple, basic. The rods look to be the same size, so that's good. And this one doesn't have anything on this side holding it. No snap ring, nothing. On this side, it has a bolt that bolts in to, looks like a, yeah, this whole mechanism that holds it on. So basically, I think at this point in time, I need to do a little further research and measurements and a few other things to make sure it's going to work. Hopefully it does. So I guess it's going to call it for today. I'll probably do some more tinkering with it here in the next day or two. Get you another update video or just add it to the next video. I wanted to get more done with it today, but it is what it is. It's starting to sprinkle. I felt a couple of drops hit. So I'm going to go ahead and pack it up and get inside before it starts pouring. Tomorrow's supposed to be a decent rain. It was supposed to have been snow a few days ago, but it turned to rain. I don't know, whatever. But that's where I'm at for now. I got everything stripped down pretty far. Basically, for the frame I'm going to use, I still need to get the engine off and get it moved over to the table, which I'll probably take the whole frame and drag it back over there, because this is where I was working on everything before, until my stepdad decided to pull the other two mowers over here and eat up all my space that I was working in. So I moved my stuff that way, took over some of his space. But meanwhile, I'll probably pull the whole build over here. I'll have a lot more room to move around, get underneath it, do stuff. With the motor setting up here, the frame should be pretty light. I'll be able to probably just flip it over, put it up here somewhere also. Get to doing all the stuff, removing the extra pieces and parts that don't need to be on the underneath side of it. You know, get the tensioner pulley and everything, make sure they're all good. Get them cleaned up, greased a little bit. You know, everything that can be done easily at a good height. And I'll probably do all my welding and stuff with it setting up here, which that'll probably be, I don't know, I don't think I got an extension cord I trust to pull over here. So I'll probably run my generator with the welder, which I don't like doing, because a generator is a surge. Your actual house voltage should be pretty regulated, but a generator, it's got a surge to it. It likes to fry stuff out. I don't want to risk messing with my welder. I don't know if it would mess up my welder. I've never run a welder off a generator before. I'm just assuming because I lived off grid for a few years, and I know there are several electronic devices and stuff that I had that the generator messed up, including the entire 12-volt system on my fifth wheel camper. So I still got to get in there and get all those fuses replaced, recheck the wiring. Yeah, I got stuff to do to that. I'd rather have a smaller camper, you know, pull behind, tongue pull, bumper pull, whatever you call it, or a, you know, like a small Winnebago camper, you know, camper vehicle all in one. Meanwhile, I think that's it for now. Sorry for all the rambling and blah blah blahs, but thanks for joining me. As I seen popped up saying I had a new subscriber, so DJ, thank you. Yeah, that's about it. It's going to take me a bit to be able to order the carburetor that I need. I think that's all I need now, or after I test the switch out and see if it works. But it's going to take me some time to order that stuff because, you know, bills, holidays, everything else. I'm not going to have anything disposable. I guess throw it out there if anyone wants to throw in on it, donate to it, whatever. My information's in the description of my channel page for Cash App, PayPal. That's about all I have right now. I don't have any of the rest of the stuff. Wife has Chime, whatever. Anyway, you don't have to. I'll get by without it. It'll just take me a little longer. That's all. But, give me a second. There is the rear fender removed. It still has a seat bracket on it. The seat bracket for that one is still over that way. There was springs underneath there that come down on. And those are right there. What the? So that's not even the right bracket for this mower, or does it compress a little bit? No, that's not even the right bracket for the mower. That might be why it was sitting on there crooked in the first place. So basically, this thing bolted to here. With a fender on it, the springs bolted to here. So that's what held the fenders on in the first place. You got 2 bolts on either side coming from your little kick plates. Then you had the 2 bolts going through the springs that held it down to that, and then just pulled right off. But meanwhile, that's all for now. Thanks for liking, sharing, subscribing, joining the channel. One of these days, here come up this next year, 2026. Hope I'll get monetized. That'd be awesome. But we'll see. If not, I'll keep going. I'll get it eventually. Take care, everybody. Have a nice day. See you on the next one.